So today's our 4th day in Singapore now, and we've come down to Singapore Zoo.
Set within lush tropical rainforest, the Singapore Zoo is without a doubt one of the world's best zoos. In fact, TripAdvisor rank it 4th. It has the world's largest captive population of orangutans, as well as over 300 other species. Not to mention all of those kept at the adjoining river safari and night safari parks. We started with my favourites, the tapirs. If you don't know what tapirs are, I made a whole video about them, the very first on this channel in fact. This particular species, the Malayan tapir, comes from just over the border in Malaysia, so it was nice to see them at home and where they're at their most comfortable. Next we moved on to one of the zoo's biggest claims to fame, the white tiger. White tigers are a rare variant of the Bengal tiger, and the zoo actually had 3 until recently, when the other 2 sadly passed away just 2 years apart due to age-related illnesses. In 2008, the 3 tigers mauled a zoo cleaner to death who had deliberately climbed into their enclosure.
So I've been to a lot of zoos. As a kid we even had like annual passes to a lot of the zoos in the south of England really. But I don't think I've ever seen white tigers before, so that was really cool.
We spent ages watching the Hamadryas baboons. There were nearly 100 of them, and each one seemed to be doing its own thing, each as interesting as the last. And then after seeing the rest of the monkeys in the primate kingdom, it was time for the first show of the day, the Splash Safari.
So the sea lion show was great, but we got a bit wet.
Yeah, just a bit.
Immediately afterwards, we headed to the elephant show. Once the show had finished, we got a chance to actually feed the elephants. An elephant's trunk contains more muscles than the entire human body, so it was fascinating to see them in action so up close, grasping the food we gave to them. Plus, it was just really cool to be feeding an elephant. Now, Singapore Zoo is renowned for its natural and open style exhibits, and nowhere is this more prevalent than with the free-ranging orangutans. Whilst they have a main central island with the traditional moat and barrier, the apes have access to a large section of the surrounding trees, accessed via ropes and vines from the island. The result is really quite incredible. Not only are the orangutans in all the trees around you, but they're also swinging directly above your head. It's obviously great for the orangutans, and for you as a visitor, it's a completely immersive experience, putting you so exceptionally close to these wonderful animals. As we entered wild Africa, we got to hand feed the giraffes. Giraffes are another of my favourites, purely for how utterly bizarre they are, with their tiny spindly legs yet enormous body and neck, and then their funky spot pattern. So for me, this was one of the highlights of the entire day. Reptopia is the newest attraction at the zoo, a large reptile house featuring several interactive and walkthrough exhibits. With their spiky tails, scaly backs, sharp claws and large teeth, crocodiles never cease to both terrify and amaze me. To me, they are the very definition of sea monster. And after some decidedly more cute and fluffy creatures, we finished off with another of the zoo's star attractions, Inuka the Polar Bear. Whilst it may seem cruel to keep a polar bear in such a hot climate, the zoo spent $8 million on building Inuka his very own state-of-the-art exhibit, complete with a large icy pool and waterfall and a climate-controlled ice cave. After finding the perfect souvenir, we left the zoo and headed next door to the river safari, which you can watch all about in the next video.